Since the dawn of history, women have been cast in shadows, blamed as the temptress, the bearer of sin, the cause of humanity's downfall. But the Quran tells a different story, a story of women who rose above their circumstances, women who led, who defied, who believed. One was a queen whose wisdom brought justice to her people. Another defied a tyrant at the height of his power. One stood unwavering beside a prophet, and one embodied spiritual devotion that inspired generations. 4 women, 4 stories of strength, courage, and unshakable faith. Who were they? What trials did they face? And how can their lives inspire us today? Alone, under the burning desert sun, Maryam leaned against a palm tree, her body racked with pain. Exhausted, isolated, judged, she had reached her breaking point, and in a moment of despair she cried out, "Oh, I wish I had died before this and was in oblivion, forgotten." But Maryam's journey didn't begin here. It began long before, with a mother's heartfelt prayer, a plea that would change the course of history. Maryam's mother prayed, "My Lord, indeed I have pledged to you what is in my womb, consecrated for your service, so accept this from me. Indeed, you are the all-hearing, the all-knowing." She dreamed of a child who would serve Allah, a child who would change the world. And when Maryam was born, her mother was momentarily surprised. It was a girl, but Allah silenced all doubt, and the male is not like the female, and I have named her Maryam. From the moment of her birth, Maryam was chosen, not just as a servant of Allah, but as a symbol of faith, resilience, and unwavering trust in Him. Her mother's supplications reminds us of this. The prayers we make for our children can shape their destinies and echo for generations. As she grew, Maryam's devotion set her apart. She spent her days in secluded worship, and in her chamber, miracles began to unfold. Every time Prophet Zechariah entered, he found fresh provisions, fruit and water appearing without explanation. Seeing those miracles and her powerful, relentless devotion to Allah, it inspired Prophet Zechariah himself with renewed hope. Despite his old age and his wife's barrenness, he prayed for a child. Maryam's faith teaches us that our connection with Allah isn't just for ourselves. It's a light that can inspire those around us. Your sincerity, your actions can plant seeds of hope in others. Years later, Maryam faced the ultimate test. Chosen to conceive and deliver Jesus, she endured slander, isolation, and unimaginable pain. In the throes of labor, she cried out, "Oh, I wish I had died before this and was in oblivion, forgotten." But Allah's mercy descended in her moment of despair and shake toward you the trunk of the palm tree. It will drop upon you ripe, fresh dates. So eat, drink, and be contented. Why would Allah ask a woman in labor to shake a palm tree? Because effort matters. Even in our weakest moments, Allah calls us to act, not for the results, but for the trust it shows. Maryam teaches us this. Take the first step, no matter how small or impossible it seems, and Allah will meet you with blessings beyond measure. When Maryam returned, she faced judgment and accusations, but she didn't argue. She didn't defend herself. Instead, she pointed to her infant son, trusting Allah to vindicate her, and a miracle took place, and Jesus spoke from the cradle. "Indeed, I am the servant of Allah. He has given me the scripture and made me a prophet." We are never told how the people reacted. Did they believe her? Did they accept the miracle? Allah leaves this unanswered, and in that silence lies a profound lesson. What others think of us, whether good or bad, doesn't matter. What matters is what Allah thinks. Maryam's story teaches us to stop living for the approval of others and to focus entirely on pleasing our Creator. Her life teaches us the opposite of how most of us live today. We often spend our lives consumed by what others think, shaped by their opinions, and striving for their approval. Maryam shows us the freedom that comes from focusing solely on Allah's judgment. Her story is also a reminder to act, even when the action seems small. When Allah commanded her to shake the palm tree, it wasn't about the result, it was about movement, about showing effort, no matter how insignificant it felt. Allah's help comes when we take that first step. For single mothers raising children against the odds, for women enduring slander or societal judgment, for anyone facing trials that feel impossible, Maryam's story reminds us that Allah's mercy is always near. No trial is greater than His support, and no act of faith, however small, goes unrewarded. Her life is a testament to the strength that comes from unwavering trust in Allah. And in that trust lies the power to transform challenges into legacies that inspire for generations. Imagine this. Gold weighs heavy on your wrists, silks drape your shoulders, and the whispers of servants echo through vast marble halls. This was Asiya's world, queen of an empire that stretched as far as the eye could see. Her husband Pharaoh declared himself a god, demanding worship from his people. But within the gilded cage of her palace, her heart longed for something greater, a truth, a connection to a power far beyond any earthly king. She could have lived a life of luxury, indulging in comfort and ease. She could have been just another forgotten name, one of countless queens and princesses lost to time. But Asiya was different. Her heart burned with something more. She saw beyond the glittering facade of her world, beyond the marble halls and golden thrones. She heard the cries of the oppressed, the Israelites broken under Pharaoh's cruelty. Their pain echoed through the palace walls, piercing her soul. And then, a moment came. A moment that would define her forever. She chose between comfort and conscience, between silent complicity and an undeniable truth. Her faith ignited a fire within her, a fire no earthly power could extinguish. She chose God, she chose truth, she chose defiance, knowing the brutal price she would pay. When Pharaoh discovered Asiya's unwavering faith, his fury knew no bounds. He subjected her to unimaginable torture, hoping to crush her spirit. But even in her darkest hour, Asiya's connection to the divine remained unshaken.
My Lord, build for me near you a house in paradise, and save me from Pharaoh and his deeds, and save me from the wrongdoing people.
This prayer, spoken in the face of unimaginable suffering, is a cry for refuge, a plea for divine comfort, a declaration of ultimate loyalty. Asiya's defiance wasn't passive, it was a radical act of faith. In a world where many compromise their values for comfort or acceptance, Asiya's unwavering belief reminds us of this. True strength lies in standing for truth, even when it comes at the greatest personal cost. Like whistleblowers exposing corruption or activists risking their lives for justice, Asiya stood alone. She risked everything for what was right. And today, her legacy burns brighter than the empire she defied. Imagine the arid winds of the Arabian desert brushing against your skin as a caravan stretches endlessly across the horizon. The hum of traders, the clinking of goods, and the vibrant colors of textiles and spices fill the scene. At the heart of this grand enterprise stood one extraordinary woman, Khadija bint Khuwaylid. In a society where women were seldom seen in leadership, Khadija shattered conventions. She wasn't just wealthy, she was visionary, a pioneer of commerce. Her business empire wasn't inherited. It was built on intelligence, determination, and an unshakable reputation for integrity. But Khadija's story wasn't just about trade, it was about trust. She saw in a young Muhammad something that others missed, a character so pure, so sincere, that she trusted him not only with her business but with her heart. Their partnership was a union of two kindred spirits, driven by a shared commitment to truth and justice. Years later, when Muhammad returned trembling from the cave of Hira, overwhelmed by the weight of revelation, it was Khadija who wrapped him in her embrace. It was she who said, "By Allah, He will never disgrace you. You keep good relations with your kith and kin, help the poor and the destitute, serve your guests generously, and assist the deserving calamity-afflicted ones." Her faith in him never wavered, not even for a moment. She became the first to believe, the first to submit to Islam when the rest of the world turned away. Khadija didn't just support the Prophet, she was the cornerstone of his mission. Her wealth, her wisdom, and her unwavering love built the foundation of a faith that would change the course of history. She believed in me when no one else did. She accepted Islam when people rejected me, and she helped and comforted me when there was no one else to lend me a helping hand. In a world that often defines success through material wealth, Khadija reminds us that true success lies in what we give, in how we empower others. Like modern-day philanthropists who fund life-saving research or entrepreneurs who build schools in underserved communities, Khadija used her resources to uplift and inspire. She was a social entrepreneur of her time, ensuring the Prophet's message reached hearts and minds. Khadija's wealth wasn't just a means of personal comfort, it was a tool for change. She financed the Prophet's mission, fed the hungry, clothed the needy, and paved the way for the early Muslim community to thrive. Her legacy lives on in every act of giving, every initiative that uplifts the oppressed. Her devotion didn't go unnoticed in the heavens. One day, the angel Jibril descended and said, "O Messenger of Allah, Khadija is coming to you with a dish of food and drink. When she reaches you, convey to her greetings of peace from her Lord and from me, and give her the glad tidings of a house in paradise, made of hollowed pearl, wherein there will be no noise or fatigue." A house in paradise, crafted not by gold or silver, but by her sacrifices, her faith, and her love for Allah and His Messenger. Khadija didn't just live a remarkable life, she earned an eternal reward. Today, in every act of defiance against injustice, in every sacrifice made for faith, in every act of giving, Khadija's legacy shines. She reminds us that true strength lies not in what we possess, but in what we give and believe in. She was more than the wife of the Prophet. Peace and blessings be upon him. She was a believer, a builder, a beacon of hope for all time, the first mother of the believers, whose life continues to inspire countless hearts across generations. In ancient Sheba, where wealth was boundless and power absolute, one woman ruled with unmatched wisdom, Bilqis, the Queen of Sheba. Her strength wasn't just in her throne or riches, it was in her mind. And when a letter arrived from Prophet Solomon, her leadership faced its greatest test. The letter was bold, a direct challenge. It read, "Be not haughty with me, but come to me in submission as Muslims." The queen wasted no time. She gathered her chiefs, men of war and strength, and read them the message. Their response was predictable. "We are men of strength and of great military might, but the command is yours, so see what you will command." But the queen wasn't one to act on pride or impulse. She raised her hand, silencing the room, and delivered words that echoed with truth. She reasoned, "Indeed, when kings invade a land, they ruin it and debase its nobles." She rejected war, knowing its cost in dignity and destruction. Instead, she chose diplomacy, a decision rooted in wisdom, not weakness. Her gifts weren't a bribe, they were a test. A ruler swayed by wealth wasn't a prophet. But Solomon wasn't just any ruler. When her treasures were returned with a demonstration of divine power, she understood. Her wealth and kingdom were nothing next to the truth he revealed. When she stood before him, her pride melted away. She saw wisdom beyond worldly power and submitted, not from fear, but from conviction. Bilqis wasn't just a queen. She was a visionary leader who saw beyond ego and power. She understood that true strength lies not in dominance, but in humility and truth. Her legacy is a timeless lesson for all leaders. Greatness is defined by the wisdom to act with purpose and the courage to embrace what is right. Faced with the choice between war and peace, she rejected destruction and chose dialogue. Her decision wasn't just about diplomacy, it was a reflection of leadership grounded in wisdom and responsibility. In a world often driven by pride and impulsiveness, her story teaches us that the path of understanding and collaboration is the one that truly builds lasting legacies. Bilqis reminds us of the value of thoughtful deliberation. Whether leading a business, a family, or a community, rushing into decisions driven by emotion or pride can lead to ruin. True strength lies in thinking beyond the moment and choosing what benefits everyone, not just ourselves. She ruled with wisdom, led with grace, and inspired generations, reminding us that leadership isn't about asserting power. It's about pursuing justice, building connections, and leading with integrity. Her lessons transcend time, offering guidance for anyone who seeks to lead with strength, compassion, and purpose. These powerful stories of faith, courage, and resilience are just the beginning. Subscribe now to uncover more untold legacies that inspire and uplift. Join us on this journey.